What do my water signs need to know for this week, please, Spirit? What do my water signs need to know for this week, please? What do my water signs need to know for this week, please? What do my water signs need to know for this week, please? Let's take a look. There we go. Here's my water signs feeling very empowered. They've been very, like, they're showing me to the past. It's like there was a lot of not being happy with things, not feeling fulfilled with things. And again, this was in the past. So my water signs may have been impacted from the eclipse because we're still kind of like overcoming the post shadow of the eclipse. And it seems like for my water signs, they lacked motivation, they lacked inspiration, they just weren't really happy with the way things were. And I do feel like they were kind of lost in their emotions here. And it's like now they're kind of letting that go and it's being in the past here. Let's see what else. Yeah, see, and I feel like with my water signs, this is so true in my scenario, but what they're saying here is with water signs, it's like not being able to like really master something here or not really knowing why you weren't able to master something. So this could be like not being able to work and not understanding why it feels like, you know, you're unable to work or not being able to figure something out here, even though you want to really badly figure something out. So there was a lot of challenges for my water signs in regards to that. What I see here now is that water signs needed a higher perspective in life, especially when it came to either a relationship or co-creating with the universe. So if you were dealing with something spiritually speaking, like let's say this was about your spiritual journey, it's like trying to master a spiritual gift but not figuring out how to do it. This was about getting a higher perspective of something to do with your spirituality, with your spiritual team, with your spirit guides, and like surrendering to it, right? And if this was a relationship, this was surrendering to a relationship. So basically, it was about letting go and moving forward. But there was a lot of letting go of the past. Oh, so again, this feels strongly like eclipse energy here. Show me more for my water signs, please. Show me more for my water signs. Thank you. Show me more for my water signs. Yeah, see, because my water signs weren't really feeling empowered in who they were. There was a lot of emotions in regards to someone else here. So this could be a spiritual team. Again, I'm being brought to relationships and spiritual team, not so much in workplace, but I mean, work with the energy, how you see fit in your life. But what I will say here is I see that spiritually, I do see that there was a new spirit guide coming in for water signs. So they may have felt like they were struggling spiritually speaking, but there was a switch of spirit guides, okay? Now, this was also for water signs to acknowledge that sometimes in order for them to get what they want when it comes to relationships or spiritual speaking, like with your spiritual team, in order for you to get what you want, right? Which is that love, that support, that connection, sometimes you need to let go of resisting change to it, right? So they're kind of calling out water signs a little bit in the fact that water signs needed to really surrender to it, but they weren't seeing that. They kept hurting themselves because they were resisting surrendering to it. And there was a huge lesson here for my water signs. So it's like learning how to co-create, how to harmonize with either someone else or with your spiritual team. It was all about balance. But it's like the thing about my water signs and the lesson that my water signs were learning was my water signs sometimes can be very defensive. Right? So there was a lesson here on like being very defensive, like, oh no, it's just not working, you know, or, you know, I can't connect with my guides, you know, I don't know what it is. But I do feel like there's learning how to communicate, right? And it's a communication that is differently, but you have to take a higher perspective for it. So this could be like communication in a relationship, or this could be communication with your spiritual team, or again, you know, take it as you see fit. This could be communication with work. I don't see a lot of work. I just feel like there's been a disinterest in work. I do see that in the energy here. Let's see, what else is there for my water signs? Sorry guys, I'm still sick. I'm feeling a lot better than I have, but I am still a little sick. So my water signs, they need to have enough strength because it feels like there was an opportunity, but the opportunity came with a lot of pain, right? And so like with spirit, it was like trying to get you to awaken, trying to get you to elevate. So this feels like an ascension. And if this was a relationship, it was just trying to get you to see that sometimes there's a lot of toxic habits. So whether this be with the water sign or their partner, and there was a higher perspective that was needed in order for this relationship to move forward, whether it be on the water sign side or the other side. But it was like there was a lot of perspective that was needed on toxic behavior, and the only way that this relationship was going to move forward is if we took accountability and we acknowledged that there was toxic traits here, and like, for instance, like, I'm a Scorpio. Scorpio sometimes can be stubborn. So if you're a Scorpio, it may have been harder for you to acknowledge this or to see this. For some reason, I feel like Cancers didn't do so, like, out of the water energy. I feel like Pisces and Scorpio got hit harder, and Cancers kind of, not that they weren't hit, but I feel like they didn't get hit as hard as Pisces and Scorpio, but I could be wrong, but that's just what I'm seeing in the energy here. At the forefront of it all, this was Spirit being like, hey, look, be patient with the situation. There was a lesson that needed to be learned in regards to planting roots and how roots should be planted. And, if you really want to grow something, to harvest something here, there needs to be acknowledgement, there needs to be dedication, there needs to be hard work, and there needs to be a sacrifice and a surrender to a higher purpose or to the energy. So if this is a relationship, you have to surrender to the relationship that you guys are building together. So it means that ego needs to be put aside, and there needs to be more of a collaboration in order to move forward towards success, or surrender to spirit and spiritual guidance so that you can move towards success instead of resisting. So there's a lot that was being learned to, like, you had to learn to navigate, like water signs were learning that. What's to come for my water signs? Sneak peek of what's to come for my water signs because of all of this. Yeah, see? Water signs are now learning how to bring the balance. They have that inner strength you see with the 3 Pentacles. So it's like they're really learning how to work with mind, body, soul. All right? And if this is a relationship, it's you, the person, and spirit. So there's a strong bond here, whether this be spiritually or in a relationship. It's like really getting what you want emotionally. It came with emotional downfall, but now things are turning around, and it's going to come with an emotional high, okay? What's the advice for Pisces? Advice for Pisces. Pisces, there's a lot of lack mentality, but you're starting to move on from it. Just keep looking forward. Don't look back, because when you look back, you feel like you're looking at, what you're lacking and what you've lost. Do not look back. Keep looking forward. Cancer. Advice for Cancer. Cancer. Be patient. What you want is coming here, right? You just have to wait a bit longer. I feel like June is really going to be the harvest of this, and this is something that you're emotionally wanting, and some creativity, especially with my Cancers, guys. Really get a pen and paper, because I do feel like you're going to feel more inspired. I feel like there's a muse around you. You're going to feel more inspired to, like, write poetry or to write something here, or this could be painting, but there's just like a creative endeavor that if you sit with, like, with a pen and paper, or with pencil crayons or markers or paint, whatever it is, I do feel like there's a muse around you, and things are going to be a lot easier. I do think that you're going to be in more of a creative state. And Scorpios, look at this. You got the Ace of Cups. Advice for Scorpios. Scorpios, please. Thank you. Yeah, see, everything's happening the way it's supposed to happen. There's a brand new opportunity here, but it's like Scorpios had to kind of learn, right, that in order for someone to pour into your cup, you had to pour into their cup. So if this was spiritually speaking, in order for spirit to work with you, you had to work with spirit. If this was a relationship, in order for someone to pay attention to you or to pour into you or give you what it is you needed, you had to show them. So you had to pour into them. You had to show up for them. You had to care for them. You had to give them what they want. Right? And so there was a lesson here about balance when it came to Scorpios. And because they learned the balance of it all, there's now going to be brand new opportunities for an emotional high, like I saw.